All right, peace, everyone. Welcome to all of you beautiful cosmic beings. We are the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, and it is my honor to bring us into the introduction to the future portals. My name is Moon Goddess Ambrosia. I am Kin 181. I am the Oracle Reader of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, as well as Moon Goddess Tarot, and it is my honor to get us started here on this evening. I am looking forward to getting us in in alignment here so that we can really tap into this quantum leap period that we are entering. And so we are actually going to begin by listening to the prayer of the seven galactic directions by our very own Ken 178 and and brother Bill Ken 65. And Ken 178 is Habibula of free reality. And so without further ado, let's take a moment to get into the silent prayers. Get into the prayer. Ashe.
Ready? Am I being heard?
Yes, I can hear you.
Brother Bill, are you going to play?
Oh, okay. We'll go.
From the east house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of a crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as a light of mutual love. Ayum Hunabku Eva Maya Maho Ayum Hunabku Eva Maya Maho Ayum Hunapku Eva Maya Ma Ho.
I say, and I say.
All hail the harmonies of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Give thanks.
Thanks.
Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Thank you so much, Habibula and Brother Bill, for the prayer. I want to start by giving acknowledgments to the source of all creation, to the Galactic Federation, our ancestors, our star elders, the indigenous elders as well as the foundation for the law of time, and all the master teachers, the mimic priesthood, the law of time students, the hollow mind perceiver students, as well as the one-on-one synchronicity coaching, and Kin 82 Aquia Anima, Dr. Joel Pukram, Kin 211, Tanetta Muhammad, Kin 67, and Jose Arguelles, Kin 11, as well as our very own Baba Wanik, Kimi Tahuti Shabazz, Kin 86. I just want to make sure I give thanks and gratitude to all of them for all of their contributions to us being able to take full advantage of this information and to utilize it so that we can continue evolving in our evolution. Gratitude. And again, welcome to all of you cosmic beings to the introduction to the future portals. We are entering we have begun a quantum leap period into the new time. And we are gathered here on this session to talk about the future portals that are beginning on March 15th. It begins on Kin 146 and runs all the way through to Kin 155. And so according to the Gregorian dates, that is March 15th to March 24th. And so I had an amazing experience on the past portals, so we want to extend the invite to all of you to join us for the future portals. We will be holding these sessions every rising at 4:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is available to all of you that are IM members and those that will be IM members only. And so I am definitely looking forward to the future portals, as well as having the opportunity for you all to join us in that as well. And so since we are the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, it is very important to know what it means to be a synchronistic human. And so I want to encourage you all to possibly take a screenshot of the definition here, because the synchronistic human is defined as someone who is able to be multidimensional while unifying energy from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic evolution of humanity, Mother Earth, and the galactic whole. This is a definition by our very own and the chancellor and the founder of the Synchronistic Human, Kin 239, Neb Teharka. And so the vision statement for us here is to transcend our minds deep into our cosmic memory circuits as we awaken from a deep state of amnesia in order to move from the information age into the telepathic age of our existence and establish a new world of highly telepathic beings. And so, we want to hold this in the forefront of our minds that we are moving out of the artificial information age into the telepathic age of remembrance. So, without further ado, we also have an amazing quote by our very own Neb Teharka, which states, "One of the best gifts that can be given to you is to be able to exercise full authority over your whole mind with all of its faculties and dimensions." And so, yes, we are tapping into using all of our mind, not just the 10% that, we all may have heard of that we use. We want to tap into using I want to say as much of our mind as possible. So gratitude to that quote. And this is really important so that we can take back possession of our mind, because who owns your time owns your mind. So when you change your time, you ultimately change your mind. Therefore, once you change your mind, you can change your world. And so I actually want to introduce a video by a Shaolin master. And I want to encourage you all to do some research and studying into the practices of Shaolin teachings, because they teach self-mastery through unifying the mind and body. And so we have a video that we are going to share, and it's by Shaolin Master Shi. And so we're going to get that started for you all now. Gratitude.
We are at the moment in a cycle of life where everybody, if you're just a little bit aware, you can feel something is shifting. Some people are not willing to maybe adapt to the change. Some people are not strong enough to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to put it into practice in order to go with the change. It is my perspective. There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place, a natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. They will move on to another area, to another cycle of us humans being right now here on the earth. And other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes. It is simple like this. They will stay with the old world, which is about to end. That's the message. That's all what this is about. An old era is about to come to an end. A new era is about to come. This is worldwide happening. It's happening inside our monastery. It's happening inside of me.
Did y'all hear that? So he is talking about the shift that is occurring, here on earth, the shift that we are going through in humanity, or I'll say as humanity as a whole. We're shifting, like I said, into this telepathic age. It starts within. And so give thanks to that audio. And so it is my honor to introduce the founder of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, Kin 239 Neb Teharka Kin. He is the master teacher, the founder, and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, as well as the co-founder of Mimic. He is the author of the SOAR report and has over, I know it's more than 875 hours of one-on-one coaching sessions, which I've personally participated in and continuously participate in. And I have definitely grown and evolved in those sessions. So gratitude to Neb for that. As well as he is the master teacher of, he is the master teacher here and has been teaching 18 consecutive semesters. Which the courses are the Hollow Mind Perceiver, levels 1 through 8, and there are more to come, as well as the Telepathic Remembrance Group, which I've also participated in. And I definitely, actually, I took a lot of these classes, but it's not about me right now. But yes, the Law of Time, Psychology 1 and 2, also known as the LOT 100 and 200 level courses. And get ready to be blown away by Neb. Make sure you have a pen and paper, something to write down some notes, because he's definitely about to hand it to y'all. And so it is my honor to bring him forward. And I extend my love and gratitude to you, Neb. Ashe. I pass the mic. The floor is yours.
All right, greetings in Lakesh. It is really a pleasure as well as a privilege to be on here. I'll be showing my webcam in just a moment, but I wanna just really give it up for those of you that are looking to make the shift, and with the shift, as we just was able to hear from the video, we have been practicing for this shift for 8 years now. And it is an amazing shift. It's a quantum leap shift. And we actually are following the same cycles as the indigenous that we're able to see planets without telescopes. We're able to tap into different parts of their mind that we can't tap in on a linear basis. So what I want to do, I want to quickly play the World Changer video and then play the video for by Billy Carson. And then I'm going to come on and break down how we need to take things to a whole nother level. And it's coming up in right about 1 week. All right. So I'm going to be right back and we're going to roll the two videos and then we will be ready. Strap on your seatbelt.
It's just different. I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
The Dogon tribe, what did they say? That the Nomo came from another star named Sirius B and brought them advanced knowledge of the universe. They came from space to this planet and sat with these people and taught them about star systems, planetary alignments. They taught them about every single planet in our solar system, the shape, the size, the color, the orbital periods, the equatorial periods, everything going on within our solar system and beyond. They had this advanced knowledge and still have it till this very day. They have this special ritual called the Ziggy, where they put these masks on and they do these alignment rituals only when specific stars and planets are aligned in space. And they do this with no telescope. And they know about these orbital periods of trinary star systems with no telescope. By the way, Sirius B can't even be seen by the naked eye on a great night. Because it's a failed star, it ran out of fuel, it became a white dwarf. Just like our sun is going to become a white dwarf, which is the point I was trying to make. Our sun's going to expand and it's going to shrink to a white dwarf. They even knew how much mass was in the white dwarf. You see, just because the sun shrinks down, it doesn't lose its mass. What happens is the mass is compressed and condensed so that one spoonful, if you were able to take a spoon and take a spoonful of the mass of a white dwarf, every human being on the planet together couldn't lift it. The Dogon tribe know this. They've made that exact statement. So they understand astrophysics on a level that we had to discover much later than them. Right? They knew this 7,000 years ago.
All right, all right. Okay. All right, powerful, powerful, powerful stuff, right? Listen, you are in the right space in the right time. And so we are taking our consciousness to a whole nother level. This introduction to the future portals, we had so much success with the past portals. And we're going to talk about what portals are so that those of you that are new to this, you'll understand the significance and the importance of how this all works very quickly. And as a result, you're going to be able to access dimensions of your mind in this physical body that you were not able to up until this point, which is going to prepare you for what's to come that we don't know that's coming, because many of us are just focused on with the artificial matrix and the programs that are being presented to us and all of its distractions. Well, now I want to show you how to focus and not be distracted, but be able to evolve into a state of enlightenment where you don't have to be available for some of the shenanigans, some of the targeting, the racism, the colonialism, and all of its effect. The whole world is about to make a whole different kind of shift. And the key thing here is that you're not at the mercy of the shift because you got access to inside information. You have total access to the abundant mind that your brain, through its neurological activity, is able to process and create whatever reality that it is you want on this planet while you're in this body. Ashe? So those of you, we are streaming live on Instagram. We are streaming live on Facebook. We are on YouTube. And this is truly a treat because we're about to go into we're already in a momentous period and we're about to go that much further. So hopefully you all are ready to be able to really put yourself in a position of strength and say, all right, what is he talking about? Because I too sat in those seats about 8 years ago. And what happened is when I sat in those seats, I said, wait a minute, how can I put myself in the best possible position to advance myself? Because I tried a whole lot of things. I tried a lot of religions, and I'm not saying trying them. You know, I dove in and I became very knowledgeable, but there was something missing. I went in deeper into the ability for me to go into quantum physics and personal growth and development and all kind of things, and there was still something missing. Let me tell you what I was missing. I didn't realize I needed to look at this as a multi-dimensional being. That I was looking at myself as one dimension, physical, and all the power was outside the body. So I really didn't even believe in the self or the power of God in me. I didn't believe in it like I said I did or I thought I did until I started getting this knowledge. And then I seen how it all comes together, right? And it's a journey of remembrance. And as you remember the fullness of who you are, right? That you're not just this physical body, your planetary consciousness, that's another version of you. You are also, right, the galactic consciousness. That's how we get our galactic kin number, that we come from the spiritual realm. Also from this is the electronic light body that communicates with our chakras and the 7 radioplasma, the 7 chakras down the middle of our corpus callosum, that opens up these different paradigms of the cosmos that the Dogon were able to tap into, that the galactic Maya were able to tap into, that the Olmecs or the She people were able to, the original Mexicans, that's who that was, who are descendants of the galactic Maya, they were able to tap into, and they were able to do it by following calendrical systems or different types of calendars. It was stated that the galactic Maya at one point was following 17 different calendars at one time. That's how sophisticated their mind was, right? So that might seem like a lot to you, but it's not, because some of us are following 17 different apps. All right. Look at how many people you following on TikTok, Facebook, IG. So it's not a lot. It's no different than you following that and being able to keep up with what people are saying. But how about being able to follow cosmic cycles and open up the cosmic memory in your mind? It is said, before I get going, that we can tap into, that we're carrying around in our brain, in the cerebellum, over 100 million years of memory that's stored in the cerebellum. And I'm telling you, I've calculated with artificial intelligence, we probably are only using about 1/1,000,000th of that, 100 years at most. The more that we use smartphones and technology, artificial intelligence, the dumber we become. We got access to information, but we're accessing it through artificial systems and not through natural systems of synchronicity that works like the cosmos does. So therefore, we're in a position, right, to be artificial and master artificial intelligence and have an expiration date versus becoming part of the synchronicities and the natural cosmic cycles, right? And having inspiration, inspirational moments, inspirational dates. And so we truly are in a position like none other. And I'm so excited to be able to share this knowledge with you. And we're going to go ahead and get deeper into this, because when I look at what we got going on, it is some phenomenal things that we're going to be doing here. So we're going to bring ourselves into vibrational alignment further. Moon Goddess Ambrosia did an excellent job. Didn't the flute by Bill Kin 65 do an incredible job? Just that did something to me through the harmonics, through the frequency of his gift, playing the flute. How about, did you hear the voice of Kin 178, Donna Habibula Roberts? Did you hear the passion that she sung with? Did you hear the power in her voice? All right. And so these are the things that are bringing us into the harmonic realm, or the universal recollection. We're recalling the harmonics as a medium to help us shift out of this information age, as Moon Goddess Ambrosia talked about, into the telepathic age of our existence. So we're going to go through further vibrational alignments. We're going to talk about the galactic activation portals, or the gap. We're going to talk about the era in time. You got to get this. Then we're going to talk about the solution. We're going to have some announcements, testimonials, and then we're going to have some closing remarks, and we're going to be out of here right at about 30 minutes. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's talk about what are these galactic activation portals. And I want to go ahead and get queued up. I'm going to talk about 2 slides about this galactic activation portals. And I want to play another video from Billy Carson on the portal so you can see. I love how he articulates this as we veggie back off of what we're talking about with the galactic activation portals. And we see this video. It's going to really enlighten you in ways that it's going to make absolute sense. So portal days, all right, when we look at this calendar, you can see that these green areas, right, it looks like, I call it the galactic DNA. These portal days, right, are days that we access deeper into our memory. Where are the portals going to? Right? We hear about portals all the time, wormholes, and this, that, and the third. Well, we're leading ourselves into greater and deeper consciousness. What do you think space is? What do you think the sun is? Right? They're energies, they're entities of consciousness just like us. It's just another version. Right? And energetically, we are connected. We are just systems inside of larger systems. So the blood cells in our body, right, is part of the what? Circulatory system. The circulatory system part of the body, what, right? The human avatar. So for the blood cells to say, I'm not part of the body, like somebody say, I'm not part of the human race, I'm not part of this. Okay, now they become misaligned, right, with the whole, WHOLE, the whole. And when you become misaligned with the whole, you become malignant. And you start to reproduce energy that misaligns with the whole. And then what does it do? It causes a cancer, right? And it can kill the body, the whole body. And what? It kills itself, right? So this is what happens. So we don't want to be misaligned, right? The body's part of the biosphere of the earth. The earth is part of the what? Solar system. So energetically, when we move beyond the body and our feelings or how we feel like this is happening and feel like that is happening and move into extrasensory paradigms and more telepathic knowing, we start to realize, wait a minute, the earth is part of the solar system part of the galaxy part of the universe part of the multiverse part of the cosmos. Energetically, that's what I would call the fifth dimension. Those energies are communicating with each other down to our brain, processing it to give us access to that 100+ million years. We just hadn't remembered that. We're walking around in a deep state of amnesia. So the galactic Maya was able to receive this transmission. It's called the Galactic Maya 108X transmission. And so this kind of looks like an X here. But in this transmission, it was about this spiritual calendar of evolution to help us evolve into our cosmic memory, which solidifies our journey of remembrance. So there are 52 of these portals to match the 52 years that it takes Sirius A to revolve around Sirius B. And Sirius B, right, or Sirius B to revolve around Sirius A. And Sirius A is 2 to 3 times the size of our sun. So that light that's emitting frequencies into this sector of the galaxy. Let me tell you what 2012 was all about. We need not forget. See, that was 12 years ago, right? And what happened is our sun and Sirius A, were the closest that it's been in 26,000 years. And I like to say these two conscious heavenly bodies were communicating with each other and exchanging frequency. Those same frequencies from our sun hits the earth. It determines the number of sunspots. It determines the coronal mass ejections, right? And so when we were in a period where there were no sunspots, it was magnetizing our consciousness to become greater, because when there's no sunspots, right, the electromagnetic field around the earth is less and less protected for comets and potentially hazardous meteors and asteroids come and hit the earth. But the consciousness of the humans are now evolving to become that protective shell. We call it the noosphere. The highest evolved humans on the planet create a telepathic medium to help, right, support the earth, and more importantly, to block out what we call the technosphere. All these satellites are blocking the transmission from the source of all creation that's going right to our mind, and we can't receive the signal because we are blocked because we're so focused on artificial. And it's just gotten out of hand to the point we got more trash on the planet that we can, from technology, than we can process. We have completely dismembered ourselves from the earth community and all of her creatures. We have a divide, a digital divide between parents and children. We have a digital divide between male and female. And so what do we do to bring it all back together? Well, we have to shift with the times. It's imperative now that we study something that disrupts the artificial and bring back the natural timing frequency to help us remember our cosmic DNA, to remember our telepathic selves, to remember extrasensory perception, and how now we move from being a cyborg from artificial intelligence into being a synchronistic human. Are you with me? So now, when we practice these portals, now, if you look at the right side where there's 10 of these green ones in a row, it says 146, 147, all the way down to 155. Those are 10 consecutive portal days. And what we're going to do is meditate on those days to increase our ability to experience extrasensory perception and telepathy. We're also going to do that to help restore our memory. Now, when we did the past portals, we restored 441 years of memory. That's how long the Gregorian calendar has been intact. And so now I'm going to show you the error in time here in just a minute and how we can restore our memory and restore our power over our circumstances versus our circumstances being on top of us. Be on top of the world instead of the world being on top of us. All right. So these portal days are energy nodes between common Earth time and common galactic time. Now, the biggest mistake that we make is we think the Earth and the galaxy are separate from us. Through the fifth dimension, we're all connected. Okay. Time wave intersections that facilitate the reception of cosmic knowledge. On portal days, and they coming, we're going to have 10 of them in a row. And that's why we're having this conversation. Two distinct perceptions of reality are intertwined and linked together. The 28-day lunar cycle or lunar rhythm, which intermingles with the galactic heartbeat, causing the universal wisdom to spiral down into our day-to-day life or into our crown chakra. The 1,000-petal lotus opens up to receive so it can go through the plasma of the corpus callosum, through the plasma of the cerebral spinal fluid, through the plasma from our heart in the blood so that the body can sync with the mind, and now we can be a completely different being on this planet and in this experience. The frequency of galactic activation portals, best understood, is the tangible presence of 7 vibration, which makes life surprising and pregnant with meaning. Now we're talking about galactic purpose. When you know your galactic purpose, your purpose on the earth is much simpler and easier. You know you're not expendable anymore. You have a purpose that's aligned with supporting all the species on the planet, not just yourself. Approximately 4 times 7 days lasts one full lunar cycle. The 4 indicates the 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air, and the 4 directions, bringing energies, right, into the form, preparing the vessel for the 7 to descend. Now, I want you to see this other video from Billy Carson. It's only a minute, and then we're going to dive into what the problem is and what the solution is and how you can participate with this, with us on this coming up next week. All right. So I yield the mic for the video and I'll be right back.
NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and they've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross. Like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing of electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal. So portals naturally can occur in nature. You don't have to make them artificially. So that's pretty interesting. All we have to do now is learn how to harness that power, and we can travel through space. We can go great distances without having to put ourselves in hibernation pods and things like that. But now what's interesting is you look at some of the pyramid structures and also read the ancient texts. If you go to one of the Sumerian tablets, they talk about having something called a Du-Ran key. It was called a bond heaven earth.
All right, a bond heaven earth, right? A bond heaven earth. And so we're talking about galactic consciousness and reaching the earth on the material physical plane. So you have a body because the body can manifest and materialize things the spirit can't. Did you know that? So we, just being a spiritual being, having a human experience, and sometimes we get to the point where we say, well, I don't even want to have a body no more. Okay. But just understand, why did you come here? Where did the consciousness, all these hundreds of millions of years of consciousness and memory bring you here to have a physical body to say, hey, I don't want to have a body? Or is there something greater? We just hadn't remembered it yet. So it starts with remembering your galactic purpose, right? And there's an affirmation that comes with it. What is the purpose of that affirmation? It's to trigger your memory. Oh, this is different. This is galactic. I don't quite understand. Good. That's why you need to know it, because it's going to trigger your memory. Comfort is not going to trigger your memory. Comfort is not going to bring out your greatest gifts. This is why our challenge to remember draws out the best in us. And sometimes it takes pressure to bring it out. But you'll get so good at handling pressure, you won't need pressure to show your greatest gifts in this process. Ashe? All right, Ashe and Ashiel. So this is a defining moment. We just showed the video. Let's talk about synchronicity. Synchronicity refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence. Now, underlying. Now, where is it lying under? It's lying under the brain in the cerebellum. See, everything I'm telling you is not so cosmic because I can point to an organ in your body that houses it. So now that's when it became real for me. I thought like some of you, like how much can I tap into? Or how do you know how much you're tapping into? Well, there's only one way to find out, right? And so one of the things that I know, and I never let what I don't know stop me from what I do know. And I do know scientists say we only use 10% of our brain power, right, on a daily basis consciously. The other is unconscious. It works, it's just unconscious. And that's where all the programs come in, the un and the subconscious. So what if I could tap into, see if I went to work for 2 weeks and they only gave me 10% of my check, I'm blowing it up. How many of y'all blowing it up? How many is going to be a problem after you did that and you got mouths to feed, you got things to do, right? So we got to look at it like that. The things that you most value, that you value the most, and you got now 10% of that instead of the whole what you earned or what you're supposed to have, that is going to be a serious issue, right? Also, if we only using 1/1,000,000th of our potential, well, what are we walking around here arrogant for? What are we walking around here with our chest out or acting like we sold this or sold that? We're not working 1/1,000,000th of our potential. So we don't need to do nothing but focus on evolving. And that's why I always say evolution is the solution. But it starts with the synchronicity to disrupt the programs that we already are operating on. Your personality is a program based on your past traumas, based on your past disappointments. Avoiding that has created a personality for you. And now you have what's called, you're prejudging your experience. It's a predisposition that you have that we call a personality, but personalities don't evolve. Did you know that? Right? Personalities seek control. And the truth is, the way you seek control is by allowing, not by controlling. And so the power of synchronicity is going to work whether we're in control or not. It refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence that synchronizes, watch this, people, places, and experiences in a purposeful, meaningful order. Now you can experience this thing we call fulfillment. Anybody like some of that? How many of you are on a job right now and you don't feel fulfilled? How many of you in a marriage? Don't answer it. If you're in a marriage and you're not fulfilled, don't answer it. Keep that to yourself. We're going to work that out. Okay? Because there's some simple things that can be done where you can experience that. Right? How many of you are part of a church or how many are part of a group, anything, and you're not fulfilled? That means you're not motivated. You don't have a motive to go further, to go deeper into your memory. And therefore, we have a lackluster life. And so I had this experience before, and I said, I want more. And that's why I'm here today. Right? We experience synchronicity when an outer event corresponds with our inner thoughts. Let me tell you something. I want to change that to say we experience synchronicity when we realize that our outer events are a reflection of our inner thoughts, perceptions, and or feelings. All right. So now that leads us into the fourth dimension. We've been programmed by third dimensional concepts of space. And space brings in the material world. And then the material world brings in artificiality or artificial intelligence. What I want you to understand is that it is now time, instead of us focusing on marveling at artificial intelligence, to remember how to tap into our absolute intelligence. What do you think created artificial intelligence anyway? Why do we think it's so sophisticated and advanced? And because we hadn't tapped into our own technology yet. So the law of time states this is the fourth dimension. So everything I'm talking about from this point forward is a fourth dimensional perspective. Science has been made with a third dimensional perspective. Spirituality from a third dimensional perspective. A 1/10 mind does not allow you to evolve into the fullness of your spirituality. Energy, right? Electricity and light, factored by time. The evolution of consciousness is time, not money. Time is not money. Well, let me tell you, time is the new currency. It's the evolution of consciousness, and it's what we create. That's why it equals art. In this equation, E refers to the phenomena in their processes of unfoldment. So every time we set an intention, it's downloading like an app. 10%, 20%, 30%, it's coming, it's coming. And until something disrupts it, and you got to start all over. What is that something? A trigger. It's a memory that you had that says, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be successful yet. You got the self-image that says that you this small instead of this big. So you ain't going to be able to handle this outcome that you're trying to download. That's another word for self-esteem. And so we self-sabotage the download and we don't get the experience. So E refers to the phenomena in their processes of unfoldment. T is the present moment. That's the only time that there is. Functioning according to the ratio of constant 1320. Now the 1260 ratio, the 12-month calendar, which is fallacious, because the moon has 13 cycles, not 12. Did you know that? So how can you keep following that if you want to evolve, knowing that the female menstruation cycles is 13 a year, 28 days each when normal? But why are they abnormal? Because we're trying to cram 13 cycles inside of 12. And the meaning of these Gregorian months don't even match. December doesn't mean 12, it means 10, deci, right? So if you start looking into this, it can really spook you because of what am I going to do? Well, I got a new calendar, the 13 moon calendar for you to follow and synchronize. It's a synchronometer. It synchronizes the Gregorian calendar in this 260-day calendar. So you can start living your life on purpose versus artificiality, which we have been living. And we've been living on these programs and we don't, no wonder why we got fibroids and so many issues with our physical avatar. Everything is shaped by time. Is art. The evolution of consciousness creates. Right? And it's valuable. That's why it monetizes. It doesn't have to create money. The value brings prosperity into the planet, into the world system, just like the grass prospers because it flourishes. The trees flourish. Woo! Some good stuff, y'all. So let's talk about the error in time. For those of you that follow the Gregorian calendar, so what happened? You know, the Julian calendar started 46 BC, okay? And what it did is it accounted for every leap year on the fourth year. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, there's another caveat to it, that every year that's divisible by 100 or 400, right? We're supposed to skip the leap year, but the Julian calendar kept counting for it. So by the time they figured this out in 1582, which was, you know, almost 1600 and something odd years later, right? They realized that they were off 11 minutes per year if they broke it down per year, and it amounted to 10 days, right? So this calendar was created in 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th to reform the Julian calendar. Now, here's the thing. If you go back to October 4th, 2023, we ushered ourselves into the 441st year of the Gregorian calendar. Now, those of you who don't know, there's an extraterrestrial transmission to help humanity evolve out of these programs called the Hollow Mind Perceiver. That's the topic that I teach and been teaching for 8 years. Why am I teaching that? Because this is how you override the programs of the Matrix. and take possession of your mind back. Now, isn't it interesting that they demonize everything that has 13 in it, even to the point they say this building that has 20 stories in it don't have a 13th floor. How can it have a 14th if it don't have a 13th floor? Because they don't want you to remember anything about 13, because that's what's going to help you tap back into your cosmic memory. Right? There's even 13 constellations. Ophiuchus is the 13th constellation, but the Vatican didn't teach it that way, because there's 13 disciples. You see? But when you leave the one out and you take the cosmos out of the equation, you lose all your memory. And you walking around here in a deep state of amnesia, like I was. And so now, what do? We follow the programs. You follow the programs, you get rewarded. You don't follow the programs, you get deleted. And there's many ways to delete you: through your health, through police brutality, for redlining, this, that, and the third. So now it's time to take care of this, expose it. And that's what we did in the past portals. All right. So what happened is, when they started the calendar October the 4th, they advanced it 10 days immediately. And that didn't pose a problem to the people that just operating with a linear mind. But people like me and some of the people I roll with, we have a multi-dimensional mind. So we know that every day has an energy to it that's bringing more processing to our consciousness, so that we can evolve more into this memory. Okay. And so in looking at this, look at what happened. Look at that. This is what the calendar was like: 1582 Octobro, right? Look, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the 4th, right, is when they started the calendar. And then they said, wait a minute, we got to count for the leap years. And they skipped to Friday, to the 15th. Now that created an error in time. And those of us that study the 260-day calendar know that every plasma, we call it plasma, every earth rotation, the plasma, let me tell you, consciousness travels through plasma. That's why you got plasma in your blood. We call it the plasma universe model, not the standard Big Bang model. You see, the plasma brings in the harmonics and the sacred geometry of sound that created the plasma. And so now we can communicate. The communication medium between the human and the sun is through plasma. And when that code gets into our brain through our crown chakra, then the Christ oil seeks down through the cerebral spinal fluid into each chakra, ending up in the heart to pump that plasma code into the blood and reproduce a whole new body in 80 days. Are y'all see? Wait a minute. Is this making sense to you? Is it too deep for you? Is it too deep? And if it's too deep, do you really need to get with us and learn it? As when I started, it was too deep for me. It really was. But I said, well, what's my alternative? To keep only operating on 10% on the decimal mathematical system and be a fraction of my being, or be a whole being? Show me how to be a whole being. Right? So now you see this gap is caused the problem. So now when we did the past portals, there were 10 days, right? So we're going to end this right here, right? We're going to delete the calendar, because it's the greatest subtle programming agent that keeps you locked in to artificiality. The single best. I've studied it for 8 years, feverishly. And you can't evolve into cosmic memory without following cosmic cycles. Show me one cycle that the Gregorian calendar follows. I'll give it to you. The solar cycle, the year that it takes the earth to revolve around the sun, and that's it. But what about your personal journey here? What about how long it took you to move from an invisible being into a physical body? That's your personal orbit that you need to account for. And it's about 260 days, or 260 expressions of the Creator, to get you here in the physical body. You see? And so this is what we want to be tapping into to help us access our cosmic memory, so that we can use more of our mental faculties. That's what we want to do. And realize that the power of God is within, not just without. And so this is a declaration of self-acceptance. I am the source and the creator of my earthly experience. That's you. And if you give that power to someone else or something else, then you are going to be subjugated to whatever victim or victimizing force that now you have to be submissive to. You got everything that you need. And once we tap into that, there is something that we can do that's just so powerful from there. All right, so we're moving through the Gregorian calendar. This is for, and if you look up the history on it, it was designed to account for taxes, calends. All right, it was made by Julius Caesar. July, Augustus Caesar, one of his days. So they fighting over days, and one is 31, and one is 28, and one is 30. Okay, what is that? The only one that has the mean average of the lunation cycles is February. But they're all supposed to be 28 days. 13 times 28 is 364 days, right? And 1 day at a time to reset it. And it's not based on our sun or solar cycle, just it's based on the star Sirius and their cycles. And it takes 52 years for Sirius B to revolve around Sirius A. And that's linked to your 52-year path of destiny before you move into eldership. So what's the solution? I'm going to tell you. Tap into the future portals and quantum leap into the new time. The new time really isn't new, but it's new to most people because they're used to doing something that they don't understand. And I was doing it too. But now that I know, it's very powerful. And so all these archetypes, let me tell you about the 20 archetypes. The 20 archetypes are what we call solar seals. And they are also known as 20 dynamic frequencies of light. 20 dynamic frequencies of light in the solar system called solar seals. And they each have a different pattern. And these different patterns are holarchic templates for us to follow to help us evolve through the what? The light. I am the way. I am the truth, and I am the light. I'm the 3D, the will, the 4D, the spirit, and the electronic light body of synthesis to access the Akashic records of my soul, where my soul has been over these different lifetimes. Wow. How about that? To just go deeper. And it just goes deeper and deeper. I'm not trying to be so deep on here, but I'm trying to trigger your mind and challenge you to say, well, what do I need to do to access my greatest powers? What do I need to do? So what happens is each one of these kin, right? So here it is. You see this one, this yellow one at the top? It says the galactic karmic in-breath. Well, when I recreated the calendar from the 13 moon perspective and the fourth dimensional perspective, the day that they took out on October 5th would have been kin number 220. October 6th would have been 221, the red one coming down. The 7th would have been 222, right? Which is the magnetic wind, dealing with the spirit. Then 223, right? 224, all the way down to 229, which would have been October the 14th, and then they started it back here. But look at all these planets in here, that these are all consciousness that we're tapping into to remember. And that was all blocked out by skipping those days so that we can focus on some artificial, or now this time is money paradigm, and now the artificial, the emergence of artificial intelligence. Neb Teharka, what does that have to do with right now? Well, that's been perpetuated for 441 years, and it was necessary. It was necessary to trigger and evoke the cosmic memory of the human psyche. To get to this point where now we're moving from information age, just like we moved from the industrial age to the information age, into the telepathic age of the human. And those who don't want to shift with the times, they're going to stick with the old way And that program is going to be deleted, and all the consciousness that's linked to that is going to be deleted as well. Is your consciousness going to be deleted, or is your consciousness going to advance like never before? That's what we must find out. All right. So we're going to synchronize these calendars. The left is the 13 moon calendar, 28 days evenly. It's linked to the female reproductive system. Look at that creativity that's blocked out. Try being around a divine feminine energy who's not able to be creative. And you take the fulfillment and take the life out of her. That's what we've done with this patriarchal system. And then on the right, we have the galactic DNA to help us access our cosmic memory. Okay, and then we synchronize. So now we don't follow calendars, we follow synchronometers to synchronize the different cycles to help open up the monolith of the all-seeing eye so we can see into the memory and access higher states of consciousness while we're in the body. That's what we're doing here. And if you can get that, if you're not afraid to be that, you could do something very dynamic in this life that you're in this body, and not be you could be a host to God, the power of God in you, versus a hostage to your ego. I think I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer say that back some years ago. All right. So as we synchronize, now let's look at where we are on the 13 moon synchronometer. Right. We're on Kin 130. But just today, we're starting a whole new cycle called the solar moon. Okay. And the question that this moon, now the last moon that we were in, asked, do I live what I believe for 28 days, 28 plasma? This one asks, how do I attain my purpose? That's a good question. You know what? March didn't ask me nothing. We're getting ready for the spring equinox, but we didn't really talk a lot about that in school, right? We're getting ready for what? Spring break, right? St. Patrick's Day, Easter. Great. Wonderful. But how is that going to help me evolve is what I want to know now. Now, if you ain't interested in evolving, what I'm saying ain't going to be interesting to you, and that's okay, because this is only going to make sense, right? The question is, what does the higher consciousness breed? Access to your telepathic abilities, access to your ability to be able to tap into untapped psychic energy. All right. So when we're looking at this, we say, all right, now what are we doing? Well, now this is a little bit different. Now you see that it has the Gregorian date on there, right? 3/7. And it also has the kin number and the glyph. And it also has a 1. The 1 represents the day on the calendar. So it's on the first day of the solar moon of the 13 moon synchronometer, right? The 138 is indicative of the 260-day cycle, right? The journey of remembrance. So basically from inception to incarnation. What happened on that journey to your consciousness? See, many people, it's hard for them to see this because they see themselves just mainly as a physical being. But we're a spiritual, etheric body. The spirit communicates with us through intuition. How many of us even listen to our intuition? Right? So with this, you can see these kid numbers are synchronizing with the plasmas from the lunation cycles. And as we follow and affirm this, it opens up, it triggers our memory different. Just like a trigger, I'll give you another example. Just like a trigger that makes you angry. You know those? Where you just all of a sudden somebody does something? Okay? So when we're looking at this, we're saying, okay, well, if I can trigger myself to be angry, how can I trigger myself to have more compassion? How can I trigger myself to be deeper into my memory where I can access parts of me? I'll give you another example about memory. And no, it's not just your dreams. There's dream intelligence, but we move in a very powerful dynamic when we're talking about an alpha state, a meditative state. We're able to move, we're able to time travel, through our imaginal realm. So it's not just about dream. There's dream intelligence, yes, but there's conscious states that you can reach. The Buddhist monks and all kinds of people reach these states of consciousness. The Galactic Maya left all these clues on how to tap in to the higher states of consciousness, the indigenous. We just so focused on the programs, many of us have forgotten. We're walking around in the deep state of amnesia, unconscious to all of this, right? So this is the way, by following this, that you can trigger your memory, right? And so when we look at what we have going on with today, like today is kin number 138 on the 260-day Tzolk'in calendar, right? And so when we look at this, all right, I want to go ahead and flip to here, right? We're in the monkey way spell that deals with illusions, right? Dealing with mastering illusions and magic and being able to play. Play being the word of your inner child, like joy, right? Joy is an expression of unconditional love, right? So when we talk about this, kin 138, the white galactic mirror, is giving us an expression of the creator. Look at the holarchic expression. I harmonize in order to reflect, modeling order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of spirit. And that's different than it's Thursday, right? Almost Friday. I harmonize. We say it 3 times. Now, what are we harmonizing? Well, since we're in the evolutionary cycle of the magician, we're harmonizing, right, the synchronic order with the illusions, so that the illusions can help bring us into states of enlightenment. Enlightenment is pure consciousness. This is what all the humans are seeking towards. But a lot of us are stuck in pride. A lot of us are stuck in anger. A lot of us are stuck in our desires, when we become addicted to our desires, right? Apathy, guilt, shame, and we get into these lower frequencies where we become a victim of circumstance. We want to go up the chart, right? We want to go into self-acceptance, right? Then we want to go into reasoning. Then we want to go into, and this is all in the book. It's a real good book that you all should get. It's called Power versus Force. All right? Power versus Force. Very powerful book. And when you go into this, then you go into love, then you go into joy, then you go into peace, and then you reach enlightenment. You become illuminated. You become illuminated into pure consciousness. And this is what we're remembering to be, to access all of our consciousness, all of our memory, so that we can see the totality of who we are and not just these fragments. It's a very powerful position to be in. So we're harmonizing, right, these energies so we can reflect. Reflect is the key to remembrance. Modeling, now we become a model for order, or the synchronic order. I seal the matrix of endlessness, so anything in that order repeats itself, just like our habits. With the galactic tone of integrity, that keeps everything together. I'm guided by the power of spirit. One more time to lock it in. I harmonize in order to reflect, modeling order. I seal the matrix of endlessness, right? So any thought that we do perpetuates into endlessness unless we stop the cycle. With the galactic tone of integrity, I am guided by the power of spirit. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So when we look on the Tzolk'in spiritual calendar of cosmic memory, we can see we're on right in the middle column on 138. Right? So these start with kin 1, and it goes down, and it goes back up to the top. And it keeps going down, down, down till we get to 260. And that synchronizes with what? The 365-day cycle. And they only sync up on the same day when you're born in every 52 years to match the 52-year cycles of star Sirius. So there's consciousness there, right? There's remembrance there if we allow it. And this is something that I've experienced wholeheartedly. Ashe? All right, so what I want to do right now, I want to go ahead and bring forward, I want to share another video real quick. And the video that I want to share, do we have another video to share? Oh, that's all the videos? Okay. So what I want to do right now is bring forth Eshe Kin 211 to go over a few announcements, and we're going to have a couple testimonies, and then we're going to pop off. All right. So just before she comes up, Eshe, I just want to really take a time to give thanks to her. She's been the kind of the hand behind the scene that's kind of put audio engineered all of this. She shares the announcements in a very eloquent way and has really been keeping all this together. It's been very powerful. And so she's going to come up and just share some quick, brief announcements. And then we're going to have a couple testimonies, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing next week with these future portals. So Eshe, I yield the mic and I'm turning it over to you.
Hi there, peace and greetings, everyone. And I am Eshe Kin 211, and I activate in order to play Bonding Illusion. I seal the process of magic with the electric tone of service, and I am guided by the power of vision, and I am a galactic activation portal. I'm very happy to be here this evening. This has been a wonderful talk. Definitely huge thanks to Neb Teharka for pulling it all together and teaching us. And he said, you know, he didn't want to get too deep, but we need to go deep. If we're not going deep, you know, we're really just staying on that surface. And so we want to keep diving deep so we can dive into our consciousness, dive into our hearts, and dive into our minds. So definitely giving thanks to Neb for his teachings. Wanted to give a shout out to Ken 181 for getting us started. Moon Goddess, thank you so much. And huge shout out to Brother Bill and Ken 178 for doing the prayer. Thank you so much for your vibration and sharing your gift of music with us this evening. So we'll go ahead and get started with our announcements. And thank you all for joining. We do have our Infinite Aligned Memory I Am membership. And this is brought to you by the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. Now, if you participate in the membership, I'm going to explain why it's very important to participate in this membership. When you get the membership, you will receive access to the Amplify Your Purpose sessions. We have these sessions, wonderful sessions, every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you will be able to have exclusive access to those sessions. You will have access to the replays. You will have access to exclusive online meetups as well as face-to-face meetups, because we recently just had a cash flow game in Atlanta, Georgia, where those that were in Atlanta, there were even, I believe it was one individual that came all the way from, I think, California that came in. So that was awesome. So you're going to have access to that to be able to participate. And also you'll have access to the student portal 24/7, 365 days, access to that student portal. And you're going to get discounts up to 20% off of your coaching, your classes, and whatever is happening with the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. So definitely you want to take advantage of that. The cost to participate in the membership, it is $33 per moon. And that means that's $33 every 4 weeks, but it is well worth it. And we're going to be constantly adding more to the membership, some new videos and some other goodies that are going to be coming out very, very soon. And if you want to go ahead and just pay up front, you can do so by paying $333 per year, but that's going to save you $99. So definitely take advantage of that. And you can go to synchronistichuman.com, and we're going to go ahead and get some links in the chat for you just to make your life a little bit easier, but you can go to the website to access this information. And as I was stating, we have our Amplify Your Purpose sessions. These are the weekly synchronicity sessions, and Neb Teharka will be doing a session coming up on this Sunday. He'll be sharing a wonderful message with us, so you all do not want to miss it. We hope that we will see you on that session. Okay, so we're also going through our 28-day cleanse. We had beautiful opportunity. A good amount of us within the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment went through a 28-day cleanse. We did the master cleanse during the resonant moon of attunement. There were some individuals that were not able to participate in the cleanse. So Neb Teharka said, it'd be a great idea to go ahead and run it again. So we're going to run the cleanse again. We would love for you to participate. This is free to participate. The only thing that it's going to cost you is dedication. You do have to be dedicated to the process of fasting and cleansing. You don't necessarily have to do the master cleanse. However, do something for this fast. Okay, so we definitely want you to participate with us in our purification process as we are cleansing our body, mind, and spirit for the next stage of our journey of remembrance. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat for you for the cleanse. You can register for the cleanse. Once you register for the cleanse, you're going to be prompted with 2 links. It's going to be 2 PDFs. One is going to be the schedule of the master cleanse. It's a process that you have to go through, such as starting the first week doing raw, and then you will slowly, gradually get into doing liquids and then breaking the fast. So it is a process. And so we do want you to definitely read the instructions to make sure that you're following it properly. But you can go to the website and click on that tonight and register and get started as soon as possible. Ashe. Neb Teharka, because he just continues to give so much to us. He is our coach. He's our friend. I'm sure to some of us, he's like a father figure. He's just a huge support, and he's, he's just the master teacher. He is showing us the way to go to help us to continue to evolve on our spiritual journey. So we are asking that if you could donate, that would be helpful. All of your donations are appreciated. You can do on Cash App, you can do $, Blue Storm. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat right now. Blue Storm 239 on Cash App. And on PayPal, you can do Kawak 5239 and do gmail.com. And if you can, choose the friends and family option for your PayPal donations. And like I said, we greatly appreciate all donations. Neb Teharka appreciates all of your donations. And I always like to say, financial donations are great, but also lift him up with your prayers, with your meditation. Send him love, send him energy, because this is a man that really every day he puts out so much from his heart. He really does. So we can give back in that way. Ashe. Please follow us on social media. Neb Teharka can be located on Facebook. He is on YouTube, and he is on Instagram. You can do a search of Neb_Teharka or just Neb Teharka. Make sure that you connect with him, and feel free to comment when you hear these talks. And if there's something that stood out to you, if you had some reflections, it helps to put something in the chat. Leave a comment. Leave a heart, leave something just to create the engagement. And it also helps when new people come and they see, what we're talking about. They'll see, the engagement, and it really, really helps. So we do appreciate you for tapping in and sharing the post, liking the post, etc. Okay. So I believe that will conclude the announcements. This is 2:11, and I am signing off. You all have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and love.
All right, back at it. Thank you, Ken 211, for those wonderful announcements. Plug in. I also have something I'm going to share at the end with how you can plug in with us. The future portals start in exactly 8 days. And we're going to have a couple things that we're going to do to prepare for them. And those of you that are new to this, I highly recommend you stick around for a few more minutes so that we can share some light on what we're going to be doing that can help you advance yourself in this new shift, in this new time, in this new mind. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead. One of my favorite parts is testimonials. Um, and oh, before we do that, just to kind of show you, we kind of extrapolated out the portal days, all right, on the Zolkin calendar. And as we did that, we also, went through. We already been through February the 3rd through the 12th, the past portals where we restored our memory from what was blocked out. Now we're going to talk about how to tap into the new time, the new evolution of consciousness that's going to help us evolve out of the programs, right? That got us sick, that got us thinking, on our lower paradigms. And so this is what we want to focus in on. All right. All right, so let's talk about some testimonials. Got a couple people. Just want to do a brief testimonial from a couple people, and I want to bring up here with me the first person was a part of the past portals. Also, has taken a number of classes, and we have these portals every 260 days. So he's been around a couple years, and it was something special about these portals that really allowed us to tap in a whole different kind of way. We actually woke up every day at 441, synonymous of the hollow mind perceiver, the 441 codes, 21 squared, right? And it's the 441st year of the Gregorian calendar. Synchronicities, there's something going on with that. You might want to find out. You may not get all the answers tonight, but you can start your journey of unfolding right now. All right. So what I want to do, I want to bring forth none other than Kin 38 Akil and allow him to shed some light on what his experience was. And I love Brother Akil. He is just so humble and he loves to, he speaks from the heart. And every time I hear him, it humbles me and it lets me know why I'm doing this. So Brother Akil, tell us what you got out of the past portals and what you are anticipating coming into the future portals. I yield the mic.
Okay. Well, greetings. Well, first, I remember the sessions being like no other, just from the peace of the dawning. It was so peaceful and just set a perfect setting, perfect like atmosphere for for you to give the message. I believe it made us more receptive. You know what I mean? But and then over, I'll say this: before the portals, I definitely had some underlying anger. I had some victim mentality going on. I had a lot of this stuff going on. I would say the portals set a process in motion. So we're supposed to be taking that energy and bringing it back in. The way that I interpret it is like it set the process in motion for me to remove these shadow aspects of myself, or even look at them, be able to look at them as opposed to like ignoring them or running from them, be able to kind of say, you know what, I do that. Or say, or like, man, that is me. Okay. And allow myself to work with it so that I can bring in the more positive energy. But I would say definitely a process has been set in place that I see getting bigger. I feel it getting bigger. I feel my energy, my vibration rising. I have my moments, but it's different now. It's not setting me back to the point to where I'm like, I feel like I gotta start all the way over. It's like, hey, you know what? I still got the power of God in me. We're finna do this. You know what I mean? And so I would say I'm anticipating the future portals. I'll say this is just setting me up for the future portals to have like, I'm gonna say like a cleaner slate, to where I can bring in what it is I need to bring in so I can, reach these goals that are, what I'm saying? Like establish some solid goals and reach them. That's my reflection. That's my testimony. Peace. Thank you. Gratitude for you too, for everything.
Gratitude to you, brother. I appreciate you and all that you're integrating in your family with this. And, Brother Akil, man, he's soft spoken, but he is deep into this. He's part of the telepathic group. And when we do remote viewing and we do all these different things, I'm always blown away because he's able to pick it up so fast. So, I really enjoy hearing his perspective. Thank you, Brother Akil Kin 38 once again. I want to go to Kin 164, Shannon. And Shannon, too, was a part of the past portals, and she's been part of the telepathic remembrance group. And so I think it was her first portals. Is actually her first portal. So Akil had been through a couple, but this was Shannon. But her enthusiasm and her zeal really kind of blew me away. So Shannon, Kin 164, I like to hear what was some of the top 2 or 3 things that stuck out to you about the portals, and what's your anticipation level for what's coming through for the future?
Hi, greetings, gratitude, Neb. I had an amazing experience. So yes, it was my first time. The things that stuck out for me was discipline. That was like definitely my top, was the discipline, because it just opened up another level of commitment and discipline. And that was something that I was working on originally anyway. So that kind of just enhanced the discipline component for me. So I just appreciate it so much. Consistency as well, because it also kept me making sure that I'm being held accountable. I enjoy the community aspect because it was very important for me to have just different individuals on different levels. We're all coming together and holding each other accountable. So those were the aspects of it that was just priceless for me. And just gaining the insights, that inner workings when you're doing that. I heard someone say it's something sweet. It's a sweet spot when you're waking up that early anyway. So I finally overstood what they mean about that sweet spot of waking up that early and the different things that you gain from getting up that early. So it's just priceless. I truly appreciate it. I'm very excited for the future portals. I've been waiting. I was like, I can't wait for it. So definitely excited for it. And I definitely appreciate you and the experience. I'm looking forward to great things. Gratitude.
All right. Gratitude to you. Thank you. The sun goddess. And as she is that, and her and Brother Akil are so modest. But let me tell you something. I got to tell y'all a quick story, and we're going to wrap this up. But I got to tell you this. In our telepathic remembrance group, we did something called retrocognition, where we time travel back to 1582. And Kin 164 and 38 were a few, or 2 of the few people that was able to actually conceptualize going back through that process. It's through a guided meditation. And this is when I got a lot of downloads about what was blocked in consciousness and what needed to be restored. And, there's only one way to find out, is to go through the process. And when we went through the process, we all were just restored and rejuvenated on levels that I hadn't seen in myself. It ties right into the leap year. Everything is so tied in and synchronistic. It's amazing. It's just, you can't deny it. You can't make it up, And that's what's so profound about this. But she was, I won't say she easily did it or it was hard, but she was able to communicate about what her experience was going back to 1582 in her mind, and what things and sensations that she felt and what she saw, and how we can bring that forward to the day, how we can bring that forward and see how did that perpetuate itself to where we are now in the state of consciousness as humanity. I like to say human consciousness has evolved very little compared to artificial intelligence and as a human race. So now this is a time to be able to tap into those states of evolution like never before. So it's just really great. So thank you, Kin 164. We truly appreciate you. I too am looking forward to meditating with you in the future portals and everything else that we have to come. All right. And my last individual, I saved her for last because she is the newest individual on, in the platform. And she kind of came in just a couple of weeks ago and just been plugging into a lot of the live sessions that we've been doing on Clubhouse, on Instagram, and now, of course, on YouTube. And, you know, what I like about her is that she really, her energy levels, you know, she really is so enthused about this and she's ready to make some changes right now. And so I want to go ahead and bring up Kiana, who is kin number 113. Hey, Kiana. And so go ahead and activate your mic and share with us what's been your experience over these last couple to few weeks that really has you intrigued about tapping into these future portals.
Greetings. I am super excited. It was just like I'm so honored for one. Moon Goddess Ambrosia and Shannon invited me to one of your lives on Clubhouse, and it was like you were talking about self-control, and I was like, oh my God, he is talking to me. and like the whole time you were talking, I'm like, I've been talking about like releasing, you know, the ego and just getting out of that state of being in fight or fright all the time, always feeling like you got to be on the defense, you know. And it was just like from there, I think the next one was procrastination, and you went on the self-doubt, and it was just like all of these, it was like I have been experiencing this because I didn't actually get to do the portals with you guys, but during that time I had been waking up like maybe 3:30, 4:40 every morning, and at first I started to get angry about it, right? Like, why can't I get some rest? And instead I started to meditate and pray. And these same things that you began to talk about in your life were the things that were coming up about myself, the things I didn't like about myself. So it was like, oh my goodness. It was like putting all the pieces together. Everything was finally coming in for me. So it's just exciting. And I'm really looking forward to actually experiencing the future portal with you guys.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you and just interacting with you. I know you're a new I Am member, and I Am, you know, it's just, you know, it's, of course, it's an affirmation, you know, but it's infinite aligned memory is what I Am stands for. And we came up with that because we want to be infinitely aligned with our memory. So kudos to you for plugging in. I know you've been heavily plugging into what we're doing, and you can, I know you can see the vision of, oh man, I can really tap into this and make some serious changes in my life by just changing how I think and tapping into some other modalities as it relates to these cosmic cycles. So I look forward to it. I know we're going to hear great things from you. Thank you for taking time out to, you know, one thing about giving a testimony, you know, the testimony is not for the individual that's giving the testimony. The testimony is to inspire the many, because there's a lot of people with all kinds of questions out here, and they're hearing this for the first time or what have you. And so those of you that get up here and give testimonies, you know, you're inspiring them because they can relate to you because you're newer to the process. You're like, oh, okay, that resonated with me. So Kiana, keep on doing what you're doing. You know, I'm so glad to have you a part of this process, and I truly look forward to all of your progressions, and I look forward to meditating and focusing you in the 441 for the future portals coming up next week.
Thank you so much, and gratitude for all you do. Appreciate you.
All right, my pleasure as well. So there's a couple testimonies, and I know we got a couple questions in the chat. We're running out of time, but what I would like, please put my email up. I see Jean has a question, and I'm sure it's a couple other ones out here, and we may be able to take a couple questions. If you're new to this, you know, you're going to need to hear this a couple of times, and I want to invite you to a couple of things that we're doing, because again, repetition is the mother of skill and the father of learning. The more you hear it, the more we practice it, the more it becomes our own. And we definitely want to get your questions answered. I had a lot of questions when I got started because I felt like this was a good thing, but it kind of seemed a little outlandish. And so that was 8 years ago. That was 875 coaching sessions ago. That was 18 semesters ago of teaching this. So when I started doing this, I was not as well versed as I was now. I understood technically, but I hadn't integrated a lot of those aspects into my life yet. So when I start integrating it, I started to have different experiences, and it gave me a great deal of certainty. I said, oh, this is how this works. And when I focus this way, and then I started teaching those concepts through coaching. So 8 years ago, I started teaching, and it was a leap year. And then 4 years ago, I started coaching, and it was a leap year. So now my goal is to really focus in on this telepathic group in the telepathic community. All right. So I made a good decision 8 years ago. A lot of people said, oh, that'll never work. People are not going to follow that. I said, okay. All right. Well, we'll see. First of all, I'm a person and I'm following it. So we'll see if other people, it resonates with other people. And a lot of people have, it resonated with, and they really are inspired by these teachings. Okay. Then my students said, you should teach one-on-one because people would have faster, they'd get up the learning curve faster. And I really didn't want to do it because one by one is like a class per person. And I said, man, I don't want to be responsible for people's success or lack thereof if they don't listen to what I'm saying and follow the instructions. Because we don't follow instructions well, right? We like our free will. Even when our intuition speaks, even when God and the God essence in us speaks, we don't listen to it. We say, oh, I kind of got that nudge, but I decided, let me do this anyway. And then, we have to end up creating certain circumstances that may make us start trusting that intuition. But, the long and the short of it is, we're in a great position now to advance ourselves, and we have a cosmology to fall back on. So when I look at the coaching, we also have a therapeutic part of this that's developing extremely well. It is flat out amazing what's going on because it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of people that are living in uncertain times, financial time. It's the monetary system collapsing, all this kind of stuff, the political environment. It is so much. And what it boils down to is that we don't need people governing our mental. We don't need them to govern our mental. We can govern ourselves if we're able to access our consciousness, our different states of consciousness, and not just this one aspect and the subconscious program telling us everything that we're going to do, and we can't think for ourselves. You can't even think for yourself. I couldn't even think for myself at certain junctures. I said, wait a minute, what if I got all this memory and all this power in this mind? Why am I having trouble doing simple things? Right? Why is it such a struggle to pay bills sometimes? Keep your health intact, right? Have meaningful relationships. The bare essentials is a struggle. Okay? So we need to alleviate that process and completely delineate it and remove it. And I say we either need to dissolve it, resolve it, or evolve it. Dissolve it, right? Dissolve it, evolve it, right? We need to do these things because you got to get the blockages out of the way, right? Resolve, dissolve, and evolve, right? You can't keep evolving and your circumstances have power over you, right? And what is that power? Your feelings and your emotions are programmed by the circumstances. We call it the circumstantial persona. And then now you can't get over it. You can't get past it, right? So I just wanted to share that with you all. This is an incredible experience that we have. I want to bring up just a special for you real quick. For those of you that want to participate, let's see what happened. If those of you that want to participate, there we go. We're going to do a special, right? For those of you that are on. So we're going to have a group coaching to help master the future portals. We're going to give you some information in more depth about these portals so that you can know how to meditate and focus through them so you can advance yourself. we truly should be quantum leaping in this period. We should be moving through, hundreds of years of paradigms because of the era in time. And all it has to do is be available. So what we're going to do is we actually have 2 coaching sessions, one on March the 14th and one's on March the 21st. And we also have 10 focused guided meditation sessions at 4:41 a.m. That starts on the 15th. The reason why I want to have a group of people on the 14th, right, is because I want to explain what you need to do starting when the portals start, the 10 consecutive portals start, right, on the 15th, right? And these are just access nodes to our memory. It's a gap between, they call them gap days, and it's a gap between, right, Earth time and galactic time, the lunar cycles and, the cycles of the solar system, right? And as we, those cross over, it kind of synchronizes and opens up opportunities so that you could have the auroras, you could have these portals. But if you don't know and see yourself being able to tap into greater states of consciousness, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to do anything to you. And if it does, you'll change it back based on your habits, right? But what we're doing, so you can see on the right is the future portals. Now, let me explain something to you real simple. Those of you that become an I Am member, it's $33, right, per moon or every 4 weeks. Now, the significance of this is that you're going to get to sit in on all of the live focus and meditation sessions, right? And we go through we focus on sacred geometry to stimulate our mind. And then we go through some knowledge, and then we go through a guided meditation, right? And we even do some of the telepathic remembrance group as well, okay? Some of the action items from that. And we always have an assignment to help better our position, remove blockages, and advance our life. Okay, everyone, we have an assignment to do. Okay, not something that's going to be busy work, something that's going to unblock it and realign what's misaligned. Okay, and then we go through the mastering the portals. We have those 2 sessions. All right, now to get on the 2 sessions live and to get all the replays, okay, is $111. Now, the reason why it says $144, if you're not an I Am member yet, then it would be a total of $144 for you. Okay? Because the 33 plus the 111 is 144. And that's a significant number, 144, right? And it's 441 backwards. Right? So with that, take advantage of this. Okay, because, we didn't even know anything about any portals to memory. We'll know that there was an era in time until now, or until recently somebody was talking about this. And we don't have to know so much about these portals as much as we can know, is your life where you want it to be? And if it's not, what do you got to lose? That's what I said. I said, it makes sense. I've been involved in a lot of things before. What if it doesn't work? Well, guess what? I get to go right back to doing what I've always been doing. But what if it does? What if you really start to advance in ways that you didn't have no idea? What if you actually start to have confidence in ways you didn't have confidence? Your life would change, and you will be able to help other people change their lives as well. So take advantage of these links. You can see the links over here. Register for the future portals. Register. When you click on that, it's going to ask you, are you an I Am member? And if you're not, get on the membership. You'll have to actually log in, right, to the website, and you'll have to verify your email, right? Once you do that, it's live. And then the next thing that happens after that is then you can go ahead and purchase this trifactor, the triad of new consciousness, for $111. Now, I'll tell you, for me to do 10 days in a row, my coaching rate without any discounts is $269 per session, per hour, basically. That's my rate. Okay. But most people get my service that's in this the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment for about $135 a session, and it's about an hour and a half, but it's moving. Okay, so when I tell you if it's $33, okay, that's $8.25 a week, and you get to access the Amplify Your Purpose. All right, and if we add this other component, this is pennies on the dollars compared to what it should be. But I think it's necessary that everybody tap into this, because where else are you going? I looked at all the institutes of higher learning. They're not teaching this. I'm not saying I'm better than them, but they're not teaching this. They're not teaching you how to access your memory. They're actually trying to shut down your memory and get you programmed to do a job. And if you get that, then you don't have to figure out that we need to tap out of that paradigm, right? So I'm so excited about this. When I tell you, take advantage of this. If you got questions, get with me, but don't wait to the last minute, right? And then next Friday comes, next Thursday. So, how can I get in? How can I do that? We got to stop, though. We got to eliminate them programs, right? Get your questions answered now. Well, Neb Teharka, I don't have the money. All right, well, let's create the money. It ain't like it don't exist. What do you need to focus on so that you attract the money? It's real simple. We've done it. We've done it before. Okay, it ain't like this our first rodeo. When we really want to do something, we do it. You see, so we're not going to even have those kind of conversations of lack, like we can't do something, we really want to do it, right? So with that being stated, take advantage of this. We're going to go ahead and close out at this time, and I just want to say one more thing. Where are my slides back? Here we go. All right. It truly has been a pleasure as well as a privilege speaking with you all. I know we've been on here for a moment. I hope something I said has pricked your psyche. Something that I said has said, maybe I can change my life. Maybe this cosmology he's talking about, maybe it can open me up to something new, something different, so I can bring more meaning into my life. And if I just do that, you're on your way. All right. So with that being stated, I want to thank all of you for listening, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or IG. I give thanks to you. And I would like to say, in Lakesh, I am another you. Allah King, you are another me. Hotep, Hetepu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. I'll see you in the future portals. I'll see you in Amplify Your Purpose. And make sure you get the replay of this out to your like-minded individuals so we can all evolve together. Peace.